Talk.
Well, hello there, dear listener. It is Masters Week upon us. We're going to chat to Paul McGinley this hour. Tea Time's just released for Shane Lowry, probably a life ambition ticked. He has been grouped with Tiger Woods, no less, at Augusta, the Open champion and the defending Masters champion together. So Paul McGinley coming up this hour. Our hurling weekend is insanely good this weekend. We have drafted in Tommy Welsh and Jamesy O'Connor to parse their way through all of that. Dion Fanning, happy to say, is with us on the football show. We'll also be joined just before 10 o'clock by Ollie Horgan, Finn Harp's manager. Once again, they have conjured up a great escape in the League of Ireland. 53106 text number. We're at Off the Ball on Twitter. Warm welcome to you, Richie.
Hey, Joe. How are you?
Very well, very well. Masters Week, Richie, not to be sniffed at. I know you agree.
No, well, my opinion of the whole thing, and indeed the game of golf, has been completely turned around in the past 90 minutes.
Oh.
I don't know if anybody has seen this shot that the Masters themselves have tweeted out in the past half hour of John Rahm at the 16th. He has managed to achieve goals only achievable with Christ-like powers. the man, he has managed to make a ball literally walk on water. Yeah. Across the 16th green and loop back around and into the hole. It's just the most staggering thing I think I've ever seen in any sphere of sport outside of the football boots of John Barnes. It's just remarkable.
It's one of the great traditions. They will, and I mean, usually it's a practice day and the crowd are there and they will all go to the edge of the water at 16, that famous par 3, and skip balls across. And they can all skip the ball across pretty easily, to be honest. I don't think it's that hard a thing to do. But his...
Oh, come on.
For them. For them. I'm not saying I could do it.
Even for them. Like, it's
pretty easy.
It's a ridiculously good thing to be able to pull off.
It's genuinely pretty easy. I'll send you countless videos of players doing it down the years. Honestly, I know it looks magical. But for them, it's not that big a deal. Don't ruin this for me. It's the first time you've been enthusiastic about golf, and
and you've ruined it.
All over it.
That's that bubble burst. Took about 10 seconds.
Sorry about that. I should have actually just naively let you go, oh my God, really? I've never even heard of this.
Yeah,
no.
That's fine.
So we're going to start the newsround. Paul McGinley's going to join us this hour. He was on Golf Weekly today. Sadly, we didn't know Shane Lowry was paired with Tiger Woods at that stage, but other than that, the chat very much holds up. We are starting Richie McCormack's newsround with thanks to Gillette. We don't just play the game, we change it. Gillette made of what matters. Where are we starting?
The Ireland team to face Wales on Friday night. Leinster's New Zealand-born winger James Lowe is going to earn a first Ireland cap on Friday at the Aviva. Andy Farrell named his team today for that game, and Lowe is the last overseas player to avail of the old 3-year residency rule. There's 2 changes to the back line that started against France. 2 other changes I should mention, with Chris Farrell and Jamison Gibson-Park coming in for Bundy Aki and Conor Murray. In the pack, just 4 players keep their place, with Ronan Gallagher, Ian Henderson, Peter O'Mahony and Josh van der Flier named in the 15. Farrell was asked today about Lowe's inclusion.
Well, I think he brings an extra dimension to how we want to play. You know, we've all seen him play in the Pro 14 and what he brings for Leinster. So hopefully he can definitely bring the same. And you know, hopefully on top of that, with a good performance at the weekend, that he brings another dimension and competition for places back into our squad, which is very important for us going forward.
Sure is. Ireland need as many extra dimensions as possible. We had Ronan O'Gara on last night, if you didn't catch it, so he certainly thinks that James Lowe can bring a lot with the ball. Has a few concerns without the ball. That's waiting for you in the usual places or on the OTB Sports app in your app store. Bad news for the women's game, Rich.
Yeah, Ireland's final game against France in the Women's Six Nations has been scrapped. Six Nations Rugby admitted today it was a difficult decision, but that they can't proceed given the COVID-19 restrictions currently in place. Scotland's games against Italy and Wales are also cancelled, and the table finishes as it stands, with England already crowned champions. In further bad news for the Irish team, next month's World Cup European qualifying competition has been postponed. That's until next year. Adam Greig's side were due to play against Italy, Scotland, and the winner of the already postponed Rugby Europe Women's Championship in those qualifiers. As you alluded to there, Shane Lowry grouped with the defending champion Tiger Woods for the first 2 rounds of this week's Masters. Joining them will be the amateur Andy Ogletree. Irish amateur James Sugrue will play alongside Jose Maria Olazabal and Andrew Putnam. Rory McIlroy is grouped with the world number 1 Dustin Johnson and his fellow American Patrick Cantlay, while Graham McDowell has Nate Lashley and Si Woo Kim for company for the first 2 rounds, and Lowry is hoping the later start this year can be to his benefit.
I've never driven the ball well around here, and that's kind of strange, you know, and I've struggled on the greens in the past, so it's kind of, you know, a bit of both. But I don't think I've ever come in with any form. You know, coming in April, I've almost coming off the back of like, say, the World Match Play and Houston before, and I've never really done that well there. And it's kind of, I've never really come in with much form in here, and I feel like I'm playing okay coming in this week. So I'm hoping my luck's going to change a little bit. Like, all I can do is really kind of try and prepare as best I can the next couple of days, and go out there on Thursday and just be kind of, just be aggressive and just be, smart as well, and just kind of be aggressive when you need to be and stuff like that. And I've never played the par fives well around here, and anybody knows, Augusta, you need to play the par fives well to shoot a decent score. So I kind of have my eye a little bit on those this week, and hopefully I can get out there on Thursday and get off to a good start. And look, you never know what could happen then.
It's a very honest assessment, in fairness, from Larry. I know from speaking to him on numerous occasions down the years that to play with Woods has just been one of those things he is desperate to do and has never had the opportunity. I mean, maybe someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm still pretty sure he's never had the opportunity. So I'm sure when he got the news, Shane, you're playing with Tiger Woods for the first 2 rounds at Augusta, he's defending champion, I'd say his head came off. Absolutely incredible for him.
There's part of him as well, I would imagine, was once this dies down, because given the form that Woods has found himself in over the past 6 months, or should I say lack thereof, Larry's looking to get a good start this week, and he's talked about trying to play the par fives, we heard, they're better, and just trying to put together a better round than he probably ever has done. A tie for 39th is the best he's done at Augusta. He wants somebody, I guess, to challenge him in that group and to kind of egg him along the way. And I wouldn't be entirely confident that Woods would be that man. It's a great box to tick, and it's a career achievement unlocked and all that kind of stuff if you're playing career mode. But I think you need someone to egg him on and help him along the way. Yeah,
it'd be good if Woods, as you rightly say, his form isn't good. It'd be good if Woods isn't shooting, 78 or something, and things falling apart. Now, I don't think that will happen, but it's a fair point. It can be hard, especially if someone of that stature is not going well, I suspect, to keep focused on your own game. So Paul McGinley coming up later on this hour, and Padraig Harrington is on with Adrian tomorrow, so you're well stocked in terms of 2 very smart golf men to give their thoughts ahead of the Masters starting Thursday. Vera Pauw has named a squad for the Germany game.
Yeah, the uncapped Cork City striker Saoirse Noonan included in that squad of 31 for the vital Group I game against Germany. Ukraine play Montenegro on the same day, and Ireland needs to equal or better Ukraine's result in order to seal second spot for a playoff game. Damien Comer will miss Sunday's Connacht football final meeting with Mayo. His goal manager, Padraig Joyce, has confirmed he suffered a hamstring injury against the same opposition recently. Question marks also hover over the fitness of Eamon Brannigan, Damien Varley, and indeed Ronan Steed. While a number of entities have made public their interest in obtaining a licence for next season's SSE Electricity First Division, among them are Treaty United, formed following the folding of Limerick FC. Dublin-based St Francis are looking to return to the league for the first time since earlier this century, and Carlow Kilkenny FC have also submitted expressions of interest in entering the 2021 league. As you mentioned there, Finn Harps securing their position in the top flight last night with a 1-0 win at home to Waterford. And Greg Clark has resigned as chairman of the FA tonight. He's apologised for using unacceptable words when referring to players of ethnic minority during the parliamentary committee hearing today. He also suggested being gay was a life choice and that members of the Asian community had other interests than football when explaining their low participation numbers. Clark had been FA chair for 4 years, and in a statement this evening said he was considering leaving anyway before today's horror show in front of MPs.
Sorry, I hadn't heard. He said being gay was a life choice.
Now, his choice of words was a little bit clumsy. There is space to believe that he says coming out was indeed the life choice, but
okay,
you can read it one of 2 ways. Like Stonewall have come out and condemned what he said, because either way, it's not the best of looks. There's a Simpsons reference which says, I think Lisa's making a statement somewhere, and there's a guy up in a control booth says, "Hold on, I'm trying to get fired," and it almost seemed like that's what Greg Clark was trying to do today. He offended like 3 different separate groups, just through sheer clumsiness of language and stuff that he should be on top of. And then in his statement says he was considering resigning anyway, and today was kind of his last salvo. So it's an ugly situation, and a really stupid one.
It's mad, and even
avoidable, completely avoidable,
to say the least. I mean, this is just a day you get up in front of some committee that no one's paying much attention to at Westminster, and you just, you say what you have to say, and you go home, and everyone forgets it, So, because I know at one stage he was saying that a coach was saying, well, there aren't enough female goalkeepers because they don't like having the balls kicked at them and stuff like this. Just, eyebrows being raised all over the place. It seems like it was a mad performance from Greg Clark. So, well, he's gone now. I mean, that is a penny for his thoughts this evening.
Yeah,
that went well.
It seems like now Well, he gets to avoid further questioning about the potential breakaway to the European Premier League, which his involvement in those talks was a little bit undersold by himself a few months ago. He said he'd stepped away, and there's evidence, it seems, from clubs that he was still talking to them about it, beyond the point that he said he was no longer involved. So, yeah, it's kind of a handy out for him in one way.
Yeah, certainly an odd one. Richie, we are right out of time this evening, unfortunately. My thanks to you.
I'm going to go and praise my altar of John Ramjohn.
Yeah, indeed do. Yeah. I'll send you several other
Please don't.
videos. We have Jamesy O'Connor and Tommy Welch with us, 8 o'clock. A huge amount of hurling to get through. And up next, we're going to check in with Paul.